Again, the Warriors elevate or promote Mike Dunleavy Jr. to GM of the Golden State Warriors. Now, again, he had recently completed his second season as assistant GM, and he got promoted to vice president of basketball operations. So his rise through the organization has been rapid. Look, he played with the Golden State Warriors in a 15-year career, played his first 4.5 seasons with the Golden State Warriors. But Dunleavy Jr. came over as a scout with the Warriors, and now he's here. He came into the front office in 2018 as a pro scout, and he was going on that trail, scouting college players, having some input on that, on the draft war room and everything like that. So here we are. How we feeling about Mike Dunleavy Jr., 888-957-9570. Ernie Chavez, is Bonte going to be there at the introductory press conference? I will probably make my way over there just to get out of the house.
There you go.
There you go. Chase Center. I'll be there.
If you got Bougie Bonte there, then
hey, Bougie Bonte,
it's official.
Man. It's official.
If Bonte's going to be there, Mike Dunleavy Jr. You spoke about Bonte before the break, Jordan Poole, and how he was a big proponent of going up to get Jordan Poole, and look how Jordan Poole turned out. Right? I know that means something different to a lot of people, but Jordan Poole is a good basketball player. Now you have this 19th overall pick, and I'm curious, should we feel, if you look at the draft picks since 2018, we don't know in terms of the draft room how much pull Mike Dunleavy Jr. had.
Right.
But I would imagine that if he's a scout, he could have been getting overruled. We don't know. So there is a part of us, or a part of me, that feels like we should feel maybe a little bit optimistic about this pick, because we have somebody who is boots on the ground, doing the scouting, looking through he's kind of in his bag in this situation. So you should feel at least a little bit optimistic. Now, he could swing and miss, but there's something to look forward to, because this is the one thing when we look at the cap situation, Mike Dunleavy Jr. can't control that. When we look at Draymond opting in, Mike Dunleavy can't control that. When we look at Jordan Poole, remembering what he did in 2022. He can't control that. He can't control Andrew Wiggins' availability. He can't control any of that. He can control this pick.
Right.
So I'm very interested in how this draft goes, specifically the Warriors and this number 19 pick, because this is Mike Dunleavy Jr., where he can say, all right, I can't control any of this other stuff, but this is what I do. I'm going to get this right.
Yep.
And you better I would say this, you better get bigger. Anybody, and look, I love my short kings. I call them Zonts. I'm a Zon as well. Shout out to us. We're more horizontal. Bonte's a vert. He's more vertical. I love us, right? But you better not bring home anybody shorter than 6'4". I can't do it. You can't. You cannot. I'm sorry,
Not
man.
with those different nuggets, right?
You
Who were
cannot
celebrating
do
the
it.
parade yesterday. Eric Gordon, Mike Malone, Bruce Brown, Jokic. They're long, athletic. Jeff Green, he's a little older, but, man, they are physical.
Right.
That's the bar now. The West goes through the Denver Nuggets, so I'm with you on drafting guard small players. So who is Mike Dunleavy Jr.? We know he was a 15-year player in the NBA, and he was drafted number 3 overall by the Golden State Warriors. It did not work out. Did not. Mm-hmm. The fans just did not. They did not like it. And he was, kind of became the poster boy for all the bad, all the doom and gloom that hovered over the Golden State Warriors franchise. They couldn't get a pick right back in those days. But here he is as a scout. And, talking around and trying to sniff around to last year's draft and the year before. Obviously, James Wiseman's in Detroit. And Joe Lacob always likes to say it's a group decision-making process with the Golden State Warriors. He joined us in the studio back in November 2021. And he basically talked about the draft like everybody has some input there. Mm-hmm. Bob Myers basically had the final say, but it was all input on the draft. Well, when it came to Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, I know Dunleavy Jr. was a big fan of Franz Wagner. Not to say he's not a fan of Jonathan Kuminga, but he did like some Wagner. So when you speak about maybe being overruled in the draft room, maybe he got overruled.
Yeah.
Maybe the consensus was, hey, as a group, there's 5 heads showing that, hey, we want Kuminga, and there's only 3 that said, hey, we want Wagner. I don't know how it necessarily works in their draft room. I don't know if they show of heads, hey, say aye if you want this guy, say aye if you want that guy. I don't know how it works. But I do know Dunleavy Jr. was a big fan of Franz Wagner. Not to say he's not a fan of Jonathan Kuminga, but he was a fan of Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner is looking good to the point where Warrior fans are saying, trade for him.
Right.
And then I retort by saying, why would Orlando trade him?
No. You know how that's how it goes. You want, and that's just not the Warriors family. That's
Right.
every family.
It's every fan base.
You know, we want these guys, but take the guys that we don't want and that we don't want.
Right.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
You know.
So anyway, it's official now. Mike Dunleavy Jr. is the GM. 888-957-9570. How's YouTube feeling about Mike Dunleavy Jr.? How's Twitch feeling about Mike Dunleavy Jr.? Are you a little petrified? Is this the beginning of the end? Now, Jama Malalea went back. Wow, that was a loud 2 minutes, Levin. Loud 2 minute warning. Did you get the same one?
Yeah, I got it.
2 minutes.
I thought that was a norm. I was just playing.
I thought that was just like center court. Somebody just over the PA now. 2 minutes. Or like they do in Miami. Dos minutos.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I got you. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Where was I at? Dunleavy Jr. getting hired, promoted. Where's I at, though? I was going to make a point before the whole 2 minute thing derailed me. Where's I at, Lubin?
Yeah, this is on you, Sam.
Yeah, this is on me. 888-957-9570. Does anybody care?
You were talking about Jama Malalea before I said it.
Jama Malalea moves on to Toronto. After decades in Canada, came here for a 2-year pit stop, helped to win a championship. But some people, I saw some tweets saying, oh, my God, Jama left. It's the beginning of the end. Just relax. He's a second assistant coach.
Right.
Is Steve Kerr still here?
Yes.
Steve Kerr still on that bench? Is he still calling timeouts for this team? Is he still calling plays?
Yep.
So, Jama, thanks for the memories, but I think they'll be okay.
Ultimately, when you have a dynasty, when you have a run that lasts this long, it's the same thing that happened with the Spurs. And the Spurs, they even took more time in between some of their championships. You know how many people you're just going to lose? That's part of it. But, that's where we are right now, Bonte. It's a summer. People need clicks, so that's what it is. But it's not cracking. You got the most important pieces. So how could it be breaking?
Yeah, no doubt. It's not breaking. They've lost many assistant coaches during this dynastic run.
And if they don't win another championship as his core, it still doesn't mean it broke.
No.
It just means they didn't win one.
No doubt. 888-957-9570. We're going to talk about Dunleavy Jr. We'll get to the Oakland A's. Rob Manfred says some things that really ticked a lot of people off, and Alan Stiles wants to show some love to the East Bay. He's got something cooked up for me because he doesn't think Shasky and I crossed the Bay Bridge or to go to Gay Bridge. boy, is that
you did that? You did the Warriors Summit, and you made this big deal that you had to cross the bridge.
Well, it was that time.
All right.
And it was 4 o'clock. You know how traffic builds up out there?
No, I do hear you on that.
It's rough.
Came to my party in Oakland, so there you go.
I've been to the East Bay a lot lately.
Hey, man.
Matter of fact, I've been to the East Bay, Contra Costa Golf Club, Contra Costa Country Club, on Tuesday.
You hit me when you're in Alameda. How about that?
East Bay Bonte.
The only time I go to Alameda is the Lola's Chicken. Shout out to my sister Brittany.
Shout out.
Lola's Chicken out there in Alameda. All right.